What's up guys, David Falla here. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. On today's video, we're going to be doing a very nice slick back with the mid fade. The back is going to be a drop fade, so it's going to be super fun. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to separate the top from the sides. I like to be very organized when I do my haircuts. This just makes it a lot easier for me, and it avoids me making mistakes since I'm dividing everything into panels. So in this case, I start with the top and then I usually cut the sides after. I just feel like when you cut the top first, you create that nice structure. You already know how the haircut is going to look, then it's very easy to fade down from there. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to create the structure on the sides. This is what is going to connect the top with the sides. So this is called a block graduation, and this is going to help me measure and create a limit for how high am I going to go with the clipper. On the top, we're just going to take horizontal sections very quickly. The client just wanted a little trim, and that was about it. Now that we are done with the top, we already kind of styled it to show the client if the length is right. Then we're going to start fading. So I'm going to place my skin line kind of like a mid fade on the sides, and then the back is going to be a drop fade. That's the way the client likes it, and I think it fits his head a lot nicer. So I'm using the World Seniors closed lever to create my guide, and the reason is because if you use your trimmer, you might have problems erasing that line after, but if you made your line with the machine lever closed, it's going to be a lot easier to go ahead and remove that line. For the next step, we're going to use number 1 with the lever closed, and this is because I want to create a mid fade, but it's going to be very compressed, so I don't want to make the guides too spread out. So instead of going with the half how I will usually do it, I'm using a number 1. This is going to just create that tighter fade. I usually, especially, like to open up my fades more, but in this case the client likes the tight fade, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing. But I also don't want it to look like a line, so I'm going to kind of create spread out a little bit, but not too much that it looks too spread out, but also I don't want it to look too compressed, so kind of in between. So the first guide I did was on number 1 lever close. Now I'm using a number 2 lever close, and I'm gonna start fading that number 2 into the block graduation that I created before. All I'm doing right now, I'm erasing the first line, so I'm using lever open and then I'm closing that lever little by little. Just make sure you don't hold the clipper too tight. Make sure you're very loose with that clipper. This will allow you to create that seam motion a lot easier, and will help you blend lines a lot easier. You want to cut quicker. You don't want to have to use a lot of guards and all that. This is the best way to go about it. So we're gonna skip a couple of guards here, but just in case if you do need them, then you can always go back and use your guard. So now we're using a number 1, and now we're blending that number 1 into the number 2 that we use. So remember, we did 0, 1, 2, and now we're using the 1 lever open to blend into the number 2. Now we're going to start using a number 4, and the number 4 is going to connect with the scissor work. So all I'm going to start doing is down fading. If you feel that you can skip some guards, go ahead and do that. If you feel you need to use all the guards, then go ahead and do that. I'm going to use them all, not because I really necessarily needed them, but because I wanted to show you guys how to do it. So now we're using number 3. When I use a number 2, 1.5, a 1, a half, until we get to the bottom of the fade, and then make sure that it looks great, it looks the way we want it, and obviously that the client is going to be happy. Okay, so now that we are done with the fade, we're going to start using our trimmer to create the shape up. So right now I'm shaping up the C cup, and then I'm going to shape up the forehead. One thing I want to mention is that I really like the shape of the haircut, and that is because you can see the hair on top is short, but towards the back of the head it kind of hugs the back of the head, creating a very nice round shape, and that's exactly what we wanted with this haircut. So now what I do when I shape out foreheads, very natural. I don't want to push it back too much, just create a very natural line. I'm going to start in the middle, and then I'm going to work my way to the sides. In this case, the client wanted a little part on the sides, very thin. I don't want to make it too big. I don't want to make it extremely noticeable, just very thin, very minimal, but something very nice, a nice touch to it. That's exactly what we're going for. My client is a businessman, so he wanted maybe something a little edgy, but not too much. And so that's something that you're gonna keep in mind when you create lines. Sometimes you can make them thicker, sometimes you want to make them a little bit thinner. And now after applying a hot towel, I'm going to use my razor. Pretty much what I'm doing, I'm stretching the skin using my fingers and just letting the razor kind of slide. Obviously apply a shaving gel because it's extremely important. You don't want to shape up your clients dry. Okay, don't forget to clean up the neck. I always feel like I have to mention it because some of you send me haircuts, so I can give you my opinion, but then I always see hairs on the back of the neck. Remember, that is part of the haircut. So now I'm applying a little bit of product on the top. In this case, we're going with something a little bit more medium shine. Strong hold because the client likes his hair to slick back, so the slick back usually have a little bit of shine and very strong hold. And that's it, guys. That's the final result. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.